In the journey of life, many things are presented to us as free or easy, but the truth is that anything of true value requires something from us in return. The concept of value is directly tied to the amount of energy, time, discipline, and dedication we are willing to commit. It is easy to scroll, to skim, to glance, but it takes intention to go deeper, to explore the hidden layers of meaning, to find something that transforms us. What is free may entertain us briefly, but what is earned has the power to change our direction. Just as in nature, the sweetest fruits often lie hidden behind thorns, or the clearest springs must be reached by climbing rugged paths, the same is true for inner growth and meaningful discovery. The external paywall is only a metaphor. The real paywall exists within the self, where effort becomes the currency and patience the password. If something is too easily acquired, it may not carry the weight that sustains us. But when we have struggled, when we have sacrificed, and when we have given ourselves fully to something, the rewards are not only greater, they are remembered. Every human being has a reservoir of potential that often lies dormant because it is not accessed regularly. Most people never tap into their own depths, not because they lack the ability, but because they lack the reason strong enough to push through discomfort. The idea of something being behind a paywall challenges us to consider how much we are willing to invest for insight. In daily life, we often hesitate when something requires a cost, not realizing that this hesitation is exactly what separates the average from the extraordinary. The average person avoids cost. The extraordinary person evaluates the worth of the return and pays it gladly. This applies to learning, to relationships, to mastering any skill, and to personal transformation. If we are not willing to give, then we are not truly ready to receive. Imagine a moment in your life where you stumbled upon a piece of wisdom that changed you, not because it was new, but because it came at a time when you were finally open to hearing it. That readiness is the result of your previous efforts. You had already crossed inner thresholds, already experienced setbacks and growth, and so the lesson struck deep. The paywall wasn't digital, it was emotional, spiritual, mental. The price was your willingness to keep showing up despite not seeing results. It was your ability to listen when silence felt more comfortable. It was the moments you chose to stay disciplined when quitting seemed easier. That's what makes the wisdom land. That's what makes it valuable. There is a common misunderstanding that value is created by the creator, the teacher, or the guide. But in reality, value is completed by the receiver. Two people can watch the same lesson, hear the same words, or read the same book, and one will walk away transformed while the other walks away unchanged. Why? Because transformation depends on readiness. The first person was prepared. They had walked the inner path necessary to truly receive. The second person was not. They remained on the surface, hoping to find something without giving anything in return. That is why true value is always hidden behind effort. It is hidden so that only those who are serious enough, sincere enough, and committed enough can find it. When we invest ourselves, we not only prove our readiness, we also increase our capacity. Like a muscle that strengthens with use, our ability to receive deeper wisdom grows every time we make the effort to seek it. This is why many of the most profound insights only make sense after we have gone through pain or confusion or loss. The experience becomes the key. Without the experience, the wisdom is just a string of nice words. With experience, it becomes a living truth. You carry it differently. You speak it with conviction. You live it without having to prove it. That is what separates knowledge from wisdom. Knowledge can be gained from the outside. Wisdom is built from the inside. The paywall is not just about access. It is about activation. And activation requires energy. It requires movement. It requires cost. This is not a discouragement. It is an invitation. It is an opportunity to rise above the noise, to separate what is essential from what is shallow. So many people live in the realm of free content, of passive consumption. never realizing that they are walking in circles. They are entertained but not elevated. They are filled but not fulfilled. If you want to go deeper, you must go inward. You must cross your own thresholds. You must walk the long path when shortcuts are tempting. Every step you take with discipline and intention adds value to what you receive. It adds clarity to your perception. It adds power to your presence. In our modern world, the term paywall is often met with resistance. But what if we changed our perspective? What if we saw it not as a barrier, but as a mirror? A mirror that reflects our own willingness, our own desire, our own level of seriousness. The wall is not asking if you can afford it. It is asking if you are ready. That simple shift in mindset can change the way we approach everything, from learning to personal development to relationships. If we stopped asking, is it worth it, and instead asked, am I ready to receive it, we would discover that many of the things we seek are already around us, waiting for us to cross the inner threshold. What is true in philosophy is also true in practice. In martial arts, in meditation, in every ancient tradition, the student must prove their commitment before the teacher begins to reveal the deeper lessons. Not because the teacher is selfish, but because the knowledge is sacred. It must be handled with care. If given too soon, it may be misused. If given too easily, it may be forgotten. Effort becomes the filter. Only those who have walked the path can hold the weight of the treasure, and when they do receive it, they do not take it lightly. They live it, they honor it, they pass it on with the same respect. So, the next time you encounter a wall, a cost, a challenge, pause and ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? What version of myself is being asked to emerge? The wall is not in the way. It is the way. True value is not denied to you. It is calling you, shaping you, inviting you. But it will only reveal itself when you are ready to meet it with all of who you are. Growth is a journey that begins where comfort ends. Comfort is familiar, predictable, and safe, but it rarely leads to transformation. When a person lives within the boundaries of their comfort zone, they move in loops, repeating patterns, avoiding risk, and escaping challenges. The human spirit is not meant to stagnate. It is designed to evolve, to stretch, to move into unfamiliar territory. Yet, many avoid that discomfort, mistaking peace for passivity and stillness for safety. True growth comes from entering the unknown with intention, from doing the things that make the heart race and the hands shake. It is in those moments when everything inside of you wants to retreat that your potential begins to awaken. Discomfort is not the enemy, it is the invitation. Every time you feel resistance, you are standing at the edge of expansion. That resistance is your signal that growth is near. The mind, conditioned by habit and fear, will tell you to turn back. It will offer you reasons and excuses, all of which sound logical. But growth does not speak the language of logic alone. It speaks through effort, persistence, and the willingness to feel the friction of progress. Those who understand this embrace discomfort not because they enjoy pain, but because they have learned to recognize what it produces. A seed does not grow unless it is buried. Muscles do not grow unless they are broken down. Wisdom does not grow unless the ego is humbled. Comfort provides ease, but it never produces strength. It is only when you stretch beyond your current abilities that you begin to discover your hidden capacities. Many people want growth without change, progress without challenge, success without sacrifice, but that is not how life works. The tree that reaches toward the sky must also drive its roots deep into the earth. The greater your vision, the deeper your foundation must become. That depth is created through discomfort, through the hard conversations, the honest reflections, the failed attempts, and the persistent efforts. Those who rise high are those who do not turn away when life becomes difficult. They lean in, they keep walking, they grow through what they go through. You do not become stronger by thinking about strength. You become stronger by being tested, by walking through fire and refusing to be consumed. Each time you face discomfort with awareness and courage, you build resilience. Resilience is not given, it is earned. It is built in the trenches of everyday life, through consistency when you feel tired, through integrity when shortcuts are tempting, through kindness when anger feels easier. Every moment of discomfort is an opportunity to build the character required to hold the life you desire. The reason so few people achieve inner peace is because they avoid the discomfort that leads to it. They want the mountain view without the climb, but peace is not a destination. It is a state of being earned through the mastery of one's reactions, one's mind, and one's emotions. That mastery is forged in discomfort. There is no substitute for experience. You cannot read your way into growth. You must live it. You must allow life to challenge you, to confront you, to reveal where you are still clinging, resisting, or hiding. Every obstacle becomes a mirror. Every trial becomes a teacher. You begin to understand that life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. Each difficult moment is not a punishment, but a lesson designed to sharpen your awareness and deepen your understanding. When you approach discomfort with this mindset, it transforms. Pain becomes purpose. Struggle becomes sacred. The very things you once avoided become the tools that shape your becoming. Growth is not linear. It is often messy, uncomfortable, and full of uncertainty, but that is what makes it real. It is not found in perfect plans or polished speeches. It is found in the willingness to try again after falling, to speak truth when it's inconvenient, to keep showing up when no one is watching. That's where growth lies. In the silent, invisible, unglamorous choices made when comfort would be easier. It lives in waking up early to practice, in admitting when you're wrong, in letting go of things that no longer serve you even if they once felt like everything. It lives in breaking free from limiting beliefs and standing fully in your authenticity even when others don't understand. These are not dramatic moments, but they are defining ones. These are the cracks where your true self begins to shine through. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it robs you of the future you are capable of creating. Growth feels challenging now, but it gives you a deeper strength that lasts. You do not grow by remaining who you were. You grow by becoming who you were meant to be. That process is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Look at nature. Seasons change, rivers cut through rock. Storms clear the skies. Nothing grows without movement. Nothing evolves by staying still, and you are no different. The discomfort you feel today is the soil from which your future blooms. If you resist it, you remain stuck. If you embrace it, you rise. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come after the greatest resistance. That resistance is the mind's final attempt to keep you where you are. But you are not your mind. You are the awareness behind it. And when you begin to observe discomfort rather than be consumed by it, you unlock a deeper power. You stop running, you begin listening, you begin asking, what is this discomfort teaching me? What is it trying to awaken in me? The answers are rarely instant, but they are always within reach for those willing to sit with the uneasiness. To breathe through it, to trust the process. Growth is not glamorous, it is gritty. It requires patience, humility, and persistence. It requires sitting in silence when distractions are calling, showing up even when motivation is missing, and holding faith even when progress is invisible. Every great transformation is preceded by great discomfort. It is the fire that refines, the wind that shapes, the storm that prepares. You are not here to live a life of avoidance. You are here to expand, to evolve, to rise. That rise begins the moment you step beyond comfort and walk boldly into the unknown, trusting that what you seek is waiting for you on the other side. Commitment reveals what curiosity cannot, because curiosity alone is fleeting, easily distracted by novelty and variety. While curiosity is a spark that begins the journey, commitment is the steady flame that carries you through the darkness, uncertainty, and monotony that every meaningful pursuit inevitably involves. Curiosity asks questions, but commitment seeks answers. Curiosity starts something, but commitment finishes it. It is commitment that transforms inspiration into mastery, that turns possibilities into realities, that uncovers the deeper layers of life which are invisible to the casual observer. Many people start things with enthusiasm only to abandon them at the first sign of difficulty because they confuse interest with dedication. Interest is about convenience, but commitment is about consistency, and consistency is the path to uncovering what cannot be seen from the surface. There are truths in life, in relationships, in personal growth, and in every art or craft that only reveal themselves after long periods of disciplined effort. These truths are like treasures hidden deep beneath the earth, unreachable to anyone unwilling to dig. The process of digging is rarely glamorous. It is repetitive, demanding, and often brings little immediate reward. Yet each moment of persistence sharpens the mind, strengthens the spirit, and deepens understanding. This process filters out the superficial seeker who only wants quick results or easy answers. The deeper you go, the fewer people you find, because commitment requires sacrifice. Sacrifice of time, energy, and sometimes even comfort or approval from others who do not understand your dedication. But those who persist are rewarded not just with external success, but with an inner transformation that cannot be replicated by anything short of real commitment. Think about how the world's greatest musicians, athletes, writers, or spiritual teachers came to their level of mastery. It was not because they were merely curious about their craft. It was because they committed themselves to it over years or decades. They practiced when it was inconvenient, studied when it was boring, and stayed focused when it was painful. Their commitment allowed them to see nuances and subtleties that the casual participant would never even notice. In the same way, life reveals its deepest wisdom to those who commit fully to understanding themselves and their path. When you commit, you begin to see patterns that others miss, you gain clarity in situations where others feel lost, and you develop an unshakable trust in yourself and the process. Commitment is not rigid attachment to a specific outcome. It is devotion to the process of growth itself. It means you are willing to adapt, to change course if necessary, but you never give up on the intention that set you on the path. Many confuse commitment with stubbornness, but they are not the same. Stubbornness clings to ego, commitment surrenders to purpose. Stubbornness refuses to learn, commitment embraces every lesson. When you are truly committed, every challenge becomes a teacher, every failure becomes feedback, and every delay becomes an opportunity to deepen your patience and resilience. Through this, you gain a level of wisdom and calm that cannot be accessed through curiosity alone. Curiosity lives in the mind, but commitment resides in the heart. The heart is what keeps you going when logic says to quit, when circumstances become unfavorable, or when results seem distant. The heart reminds you why you started in the first place, giving you a sense of meaning that sustains you when the novelty wears off. Without that deeper reason, curiosity fades because it depends on external stimulation. Commitment endures because it is connected to an internal compass. It is that connection that allows you to navigate periods of confusion or doubt, knowing that perseverance itself is part of the journey's purpose. Commitment is also what creates trust, not just with others, but within yourself. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce your own sense of integrity. Over time, this builds confidence because you no longer doubt whether you will show up for yourself. You know you will. This self-trust is the foundation of true confidence and the root of authentic strength. It allows you to walk into new challenges with courage because you have proven to yourself, through countless acts of commitment, that you will not abandon your own growth. Without commitment, curiosity becomes a series of unfinished experiments, each abandoned before it could yield deeper understanding. With commitment, every step becomes a building block for mastery. Commitment also brings stability to relationships, both with others and with yourself. When you are committed to listening deeply, understanding fully, and loving honestly, you build connections that weather the storms of misunderstanding, conflict, and distance. Relationships rooted only in curiosity fade when they stop feeling exciting, but those built on commitment endure, deepen, and transform both people involved. The same is true for your relationship with your purpose, your craft, and your dreams. It is not enough to dabble. You must devote yourself fully, especially when progress is slow and recognition is absent. In those quiet, unnoticed moments, commitment is forged. In a world where attention spans are shrinking and instant gratification is celebrated, commitment becomes a rare and powerful advantage. It allows you to stand out, not because you are louder, but because you are unwavering. It helps you find meaning in repetition, beauty in difficulty, and peace in uncertainty. While curiosity chases what is new, commitment discovers what is true, and truth is what ultimately frees you from your limitations, from your fears, and from the illusions that keep you small. Commitment is not something you wait to feel ready for. It is something you choose, and each time you choose it, you strengthen it. Like a muscle, it grows with use. At first it may feel uncomfortable or even impossible, but as you keep returning to your purpose, your capacity to commit expands. Eventually, what once seemed hard becomes your new normal, and you find yourself capable of things you never imagined. This is how commitment becomes a gateway to your highest potential. Remember that life's greatest gifts are reserved for those who do not give up at the first difficulty, who do not retreat when the path becomes steep, who do not surrender their dreams because the journey is longer than they expected. Curiosity might bring you to the door, but only commitment gives you the key. Once you walk through, you discover a world that cannot be glimpsed from outside, a world of depth, wisdom, mastery, and fulfillment that grows richer with every step you take, not just because you were interested, but because you were all in. The unseen rewards are reserved for the truly invested, because life does not give its greatest treasures to those who are merely observing from the sidelines. It reveals them only to those who step into the arena with full presence, full effort, and full heart. The deepest lessons, the most transformative experiences, and the highest levels of mastery are not displayed openly for anyone to pick up. They lie behind layers of discipline, humility, repetition, and perseverance. Those who only look for immediate returns miss them entirely. They are like travelers who skim the surface of a land but never stay long enough to understand its culture, its language, or its soul. The unseen rewards are not hidden to punish us. They are hidden to protect their power, to ensure that only those who are ready and worthy can carry them with responsibility. There are certain insights in life that cannot be explained. They must be experienced. They come slowly, often subtly, over time. The world may not recognize the quiet breakthroughs happening inside someone who has been practicing in solitude for years. There is no applause, no spotlight, no immediate result. But one day, that person begins to move differently, speak with clarity, act with purpose. The change is invisible until it becomes undeniable. This is the nature of unseen rewards. They grow silently, like roots beneath the surface, building strength and structure long before the tree emerges. Those roots are the result of investment. Daily, patient, committed investment into something greater than comfort or validation. When you truly invest in something, whether it is your craft, your self-mastery, your relationships, or your healing, you begin to see the world differently. You start noticing details others overlook. You develop sensitivity where others remain numb. You hear what is unspoken, feel what is subtle, and sense what is hidden. This awareness cannot be taught in words. It arises from time spent in stillness, from choosing depth over speed, from listening more than speaking. It is the kind of reward that changes who you are, not just what you know. And because it changes you, it shapes everything you touch. Your work becomes infused with intention. Your presence carries weight. Your words carry resonance. None of this can be achieved without genuine investment. The difference between someone who dips their toes in the water and someone who dives into the deep end is not just the result. It is the transformation of character. To truly invest is to be willing to face uncertainty, to risk failure, to repeat the same practice again and again without guarantees. This kind of patience and devotion cultivates inner qualities that the outer world cannot see but deeply feels. People who are deeply invested begin to embody what they practice. They do not just know about discipline, they radiate it. They do not just understand presence, they become it. This embodiment is one of the greatest unseen rewards. It cannot be faked, it cannot be purchased, it must be lived. When you look at those who have truly mastered something, whether it is wisdom, art, leadership, or compassion, you are seeing the end result of years of invisible work. What they display publicly is only the tip of the iceberg. Beneath that surface lies thousands of hours of failure, doubt, self-inquiry, and focused repetition. Most people never see this, which is why they assume it came easily. But the truth is that everything meaningful is earned, and it is only earned by those who keep showing up even when no one is watching, even when progress is slow, even when motivation disappears. Their reward is not only the result. They become someone they never would have met had they given up. To truly invest means to give your full attention, not just occasionally, but continuously. It means to show reverence to the process itself, to trust that what you plant today may not bloom for a long time, but that it will bloom, and when it does, it will be worth far more than what you sacrificed. These rewards are not flashy, they are often quiet. They show up in the way you stay calm under pressure, in the way you treat others with kindness even when you're tired, in the way you know what to do when things fall apart. These are not things you can buy, they are the result of who you have become through steady commitment. Unseen rewards often arrive when you least expect them, a moment of clarity in the middle of a storm. A word of gratitude from someone you helped years ago, an opportunity that comes because someone noticed your consistency when you thought no one was paying attention. These are the gifts that life gives to those who plant without needing to harvest immediately. They are signs that your effort has not been in vain, but to receive them, you must trust the timing of life, and you must continue investing even when the outcome is uncertain. This trust is itself a reward. It frees you from the need for constant reassurance. It anchors you in purpose. It's easy to chase visible rewards, money, fame, recognition. These can be powerful motivators, but they often disappear as quickly as they arrive. Unseen rewards, however, are permanent. They change the architecture of your soul. They strengthen your integrity, deepen your humility, and sharpen your discernment. They make you wiser, more grounded, more compassionate. And because they are not dependent on external validation, they cannot be taken away. They are yours because you have earned them through who you have become. The world often celebrates those who appear successful, but overlooks the value of those quietly committed to something meaningful. But the deepest fulfillment comes not from being seen, but from seeing clearly, not from being admired, but from being aligned, not from having more, but from becoming more. These inner shifts are invisible to the outside world, but they change everything about how you move through it. They give you strength in solitude, clarity in chaos, and joy in simplicity. These are the rewards waiting for those who choose to go deep instead of wide, who choose the long path over the fast one, who build slow and strong rather than quick and shallow. If you truly want to receive what life has to offer at its highest level, you must be willing to give yourself at your highest level. Half effort will never lead to full insight. Occasional practice will never lead to transformation. The greatest truths are not handed out at the beginning. They are revealed along the way, to those who have walked long enough and stayed sincere enough to deserve them. There is no shortcut to this, but the beauty is that anyone can choose this path. Anyone can choose to invest. Anyone can begin today. You may not see the reward right away. You may wonder if it's working. You may feel alone on the journey. But trust that every act of presence, every moment of discipline, every return to the practice is adding something to the invisible foundation of who you are becoming. And one day, without warning, the reward will appear, not as something outside of you, but as a power awakened within you. That is the unseen reward. That is the gift reserved for the truly invested.